Nerdrotic.com.
Welcome, travelers, to the fringes of reality, where the strange and mysterious meet, and the thin veil between fact and fiction is torn. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.
A very low applause, so it doesn't offend the audience's ears. Hello, hello. Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier. Travelers.
Welcome in.
Welcome in. We're only 6 to 10 minutes late, so whoever gets that,
God.
you win.
8 minutes. Okay.
8 minutes. 8 minutes. And we have a very special guest. Hugh Newman is back. Like, lay it on me. Lay it on me. Welcome, sir. Thanks for coming on to we've got, a lot of talk to talk about, but you just got back from Turkey and you have a conference coming up in 2 weeks.
That's right. Yeah, bunch of stuff. There's stuff going on locally as well. We can mention, like super ancient discoveries being made even near me near Stonehenge. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I've got the Origins conference coming up. Obviously, we've got the big. There's the one in December in Arizona, which we're going to be at, I think. But yeah, Origins. Yeah, that's like just a 1 day little kind of conference. We do like 150, 170 people, and yeah, we're going to be covering all the latest stuff about the origins of civilization. And for those that can't come, we've got a live stream, so you can kind of sign up for that. But yeah, we're going to be cracking into some stuff there, a lot of brand new stuff as well.
This is some really good stuff. I'm sorry to admit that I've seen some of the stuff that's been completely ripped off from you of your conferences, and then I've seen your stuff on your channel, Megalithomania. And they're always really good and informative and fun. So please check them out. Hi, Adam.
Hi, I'm excited to have Hugh back. This is great, and I've got some questions. I'm very excited about what they found in the UK. I know a little bit about it, so I don't know how much you can say, but it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to hearing about your trip in Turkey
Say
as well.
what you can. And if you accidentally say something, no, don't.
Short arms.
Short arms.
Tradition on this show.
Yes, it is. Hi, Garrett.
Hey, man. Yeah, I'm excited. Finally get to talk to Hugh again. And the internet is much better this time. It looks crisp and clean. You look great. You look fantastic. And I want to hear about Egypt because that trip's coming up. And can't wait to hear what your ideas are on that. What the team should go see first, because that's the thing. It's like we're gonna go to a bunch of different spots, but where should somebody that is experienced, where should they go first? That's what I want to hear. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah. Hey, we got to take care of some business though.
Business.
Got a couple ad reads today, and one of them is lean. Doctors call it weight cycling. Half of Americans do it, and if you do it enough, you are at risk of diabetes, liver damage, and heart attack and stroke. And that's just from eating our food here in America.
That's true.
Weight cycling is when you lose 10 or so pounds, but then you put the pounds back plus a couple of more. This puts tremendous strain on your organs and leads to serious health issues. Bottom line, most people need help to stop weight cycling. And here's a great way to do it, or a great way to do it.
It's a great way to do it.
A great way to do it. It's Wabbit season.
Truck season.
Non-prescription lean was created by doctors. Lean is an oral supplement, not a GLP injectable, and the science is impressive. It studied ingredients also target weight loss in 3 powerful ways. Lean helps maintain healthy blood sugar. It helps control appetite and cravings, and it helps burn fat by converting it into energy. And burning fat helps keep the weight off. If you want to lose meaningful weight at a healthy pace and keep it off, add lean to your diet and exercise lifestyle. Get 20% off when you enter Nerdrotic at takelean.com. That's code Nerdrotic at takelean.com.
I used it. I actually used it before.
You're getting lean. You're getting
Oh,
lean.
yeah.
I
Hey,
saw
it's
you.
helping.
I saw you last Friday at the Unsub Podcast Live, which was a hoot.
That was a hell of fun. Hell of fun.
That was crazy.
Yeah, they put on a crazy show.
They put on a crazy show. So it's some friends of ours, Hugh, called the Unsubscribed Podcast. They're veterans, ex-cops and veterans, or electricians. You know, salt of the earth people. One of the biggest podcasts around, and they do a live show. And their live show is basically telling war stories of Afghanistan or whatever, some crazy, and it's hilarious. I'm not going to do it justice. I did not expect to see simulated donkey sex.
Yeah.
At the show. Yeah.
There was an Eiffel Tower. There was an Eiffel Tower happening
Eiffel Tower
with a simulated donkey.
Yes. And the setup was a couple of snipers are out there running security in Afghanistan during a curfew where basically if you go outside, you get shot. So these 2 military age men walk out with a donkey and then hijinks ensue. And they didn't get shot. The thing is that like they didn't get shot. It probably saved their life, Garrett, the way they
It really did. Yeah. They were like ready to go. And then things started happening.
The American military was so mortified. They're just like, let him go.
Like, you know what? There's nothing worse than just living after that.
No.
Go ahead.
No, but after you see something like that, maybe you want to get into crypto. Is that a bad?
Yeah. Can we go from that to crypto? I don't know.
Oh my God, X-Ray Girl. Am I supposed to read the first one, right? Or the second one?
You can read either, but I think the second one is.
Second one's better. Okay, thank you. And crypto.com, by the way, cryptocurrency is on fire. And here's huge news. Trump Media just signed a massive $6.4 billion deal with Yorksville Acquisition Corporation. I can talk. And crypto.com. The crypto platform trusted by millions of users worldwide. They're teaming up to acquire up to $6.4 billion in CRO to establish America's first CRO treasury. Trump Media Group, CRO, I almost said strategery. Strategery. They should do strategery. That would be funny. Once complete, this new company will be the largest publicly traded CRO holder out there. Ready to join the crypto revolution? Head to crypto.com today and be a part of this historic move. That's crypto.com. Don't wait. For more information on the proposed business combination, check out Yorkville Acquisition Corp's public filings. Thank you very much. Business is done. The business is done. Let's have some fun.
Where do we want to start?
Yeah, what do we want to get into?
Somebody say I sold
Turkey?
myself. I have no soul to sell, Monster Hunter. My soul is like a $1.05. Okay. Where do we want to start?
I'd love to get into Turkey because there's been a lot of cool stuff coming.
Yeah.
You know, the face, the human statue that was in a wall, a lot of cool things, and I'm sure you probably got some good stuff.
Yeah, Hugh just got back.
Yeah.
We just got back a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff just coming out. I mean, it's not like massive stuff. I mean, there's that. You did a thing about the so-called votive offering found in the wall between enclosure D and another enclosure in Gobeckli Tepe. I mean, they made a massive deal out of that. And to me, it's just like one of the lesser things they found completely. So yeah, I don't know whether but it's because there's so little excavation going on. They have to make a big deal out of little things like this. But it's about 3 feet long, so it's pretty, hefty.
Yeah.
But it's not like a giant statue like being found at Karahan Tepe. But while that was happening, though, I put a video out a week or two ago about they're reconstructing enclosure C. And this really, while I was there with my group, we kind of realized it's a huge amount of reconstruction going on. They're glued one of the T-pillars back together completely, pretty much, tidied up the enclosure, but they continued building the walls around the edge, like over, using modern materials, but some an ancient style. They said they're using like goat hair mixed with mud and things like this, apparently, and so they're reconstructing the wall. This is enclosure D, but it's enclosure C. They're doing this, and over on the left there, and you can see all the construction materials and everything else. This whole stone on the right is kind of getting blocked out. They've rebuilt the wall basically, and what's underneath it hasn't really been excavated. And so they're kind of building these permanent kind of structures around it. I mean, it looks pretty cool having that pillar reconstructed. We get a sense of the scale of it, the height. There's not too many carvings on it, to be honest with you. I mean, I think there's supposed to be a bull carving on it that was reported years ago by Klaus Schmidt. And it was actually Klaus Schmidt, the previous archaeologist, who, noticed this one had been smashed in antiquity, and it was all over the floor. And he did a 3D scan of all the pieces. All the pieces were scanned back, this was like 15 years ago. And it's probably from that they were able to reconstruct it today, So this is all happening. So they're doing that at Karahan Tepe as well, in the enclosure AH, and a couple of other parts of the site. So it's kind of cool because we know that they're, it's good to see what it looked like. It's good to kind of tidy it up, but to build over, to reconstruct walls that may not have been original walls in the first place. They could have been hundreds of years later, thousands possibly. These walls aren't necessarily original. And so, I have a slight problem with that. This is all the area around the back as well. They got these square rooms they're finding. They're claiming these are domestic dwellings, but they're not sure. They could be like, groups coming in, moving, doing a pilgrimage around different sites over the annual cycle, and everything else. But so there's quite a lot going on. I mean, they only did like 2 months of excavation this year, which is kind of bizarre. But they've done a giant GPR scan of the whole area, so they're serious about actually finding new areas to look at. But one of the things, the geometry, one of the things, this clearing up and tidying up of these sites is proving my point that they're using very kind of interesting geometry as well, which has enabled me to see it more clearly the more they clear it up and excavate and kind of clear the floor. And all the geometries that are coming out, we get it at Sayburch as well, all based upon what we're finding in the British stone circles. And so this is my own research. It's not official kind of governmental research or anything. But this, so I find, so that's fascinating. So there's fascinating elements sort of popping up out of it as stuff gets cleared. And,
wait, so you're saying there's a connection in the geometries of the circles or the structures that they're finding at Gobeckli Tepe and what they found under Stonehenge?
Stonehenge and all the other. There's 1,000 stone circles in Britain.
Right.
So
Okay.
Also in Brittany as well. In general, but very much the the Western European stone circles in Portugal, Brittany, and some of the ones in Brittany are like 5,000-6,000 BC, 7,000 BC in one case, I think. Some of the ones in Britain they're finding are much older as well. I think since these sites in Turkey, with all this dating, 9,600 BC, it's making people rethink everything around the planet. And so, but I'm fascinated by geometry and metrology, ancient measures, amongst other things. But these two things, the parallels are insane. I'm finding the same measurement systems in Stonehenge as you get in Gobeckli Tepe, as you get in Brittany, France, that ended up in different forms in Egypt and places like this. There's evidence that they were surveying, they were measuring the earth, because some of these are earth measures based upon around the English foot, variations of the English foot. Also, even the megalithic yard as well, which was like Alexander Thom's discoveries in the 50s and 60s, which is what these geometries are based on as well. So there's lots of, I'm getting really into this at the minute. I'm writing a whole kind of thing about it, but there's direct parallels, and this is clearly where it all came from. This is like the origin point of all this kind of knowledge and information,
which really backs up like that's what maybe it was, is a place to pass on knowledge, maybe, and spread it throughout. And what you're talking about to the chat right now, the stone circles and circles in different countries are spread out by thousands of years, supposedly.
Yeah.
Disparate cultures, separated by thousands of years, totally unconnected, but
vast distances. They're all possibly measuring the same, using the same types of measurements, but they all thought of it independently, according to academia.
Yeah, I mean, I get a real sense that there's a kind of legacy of kind of the more I look into this, the more there's evidence. If you look at the hunter-gatherers and you look at the anthropological data collected on them, there's a real legacy of like kind of shamanic leaders, like esteemed leaders and groups who would work on this knowledge and pass it down generationally. And to initiates and things like, even like in hunter-gatherer groups, it's not necessarily just in like Egypt and the big pharaoh and all that kind of thing. This is a whole thing that I've been researching, because people often dismiss these hunter-gatherers as like kind of savages, basically, you know, if you want to put it bluntly. But the research says a lot different. I mean, this is what's really compelling to us. And so this is where I've been looking. I thought, well, I'm going to go into that data, because no one really looks there, because they just think it's all going to be these, you know, these not very smart savages. But you go back into the Paleolithic times, you go back into the Mesolithic times of Britain, even, you know, into the Ice Age, basically. And we know, I mean, one of my big research projects I'm going to be speaking about at these next couple of conferences is the obsession with the solstice by these cultures, not just at Karahan Tepe and Gobeckli Tepe, but we're talking cultures going back 40,000 years. And so, and we've got this really solid evidence of that. And then the hunter-gatherer data that's been collected over hundreds of years, it's the same thing. All these groups become obsessed by the solstice, not necessarily for calendars, for like initiation, for other things, other deeper things, you know, than just, you know, when you plant your crops.
Right. And that I mean, and you know, recognizing that this gets lost sometimes, recognizing that there is a solstice, period. So, and the importance of it, but somebody had to figure it out first. So there's some hunter-gatherers like, the sun is in it. I look at this spot every day for a year.
Yeah.
The sun's in a different spot. What's up with that? You know, somebody had to do that. And it became pretty important. They'll do things like eat, you know, and other things.
Yeah. It takes a lot of other knowledge in order to do that. We've talked about that a lot, where these temples or structures, ancient megalithic structures are built. They're facing specific constellations. Well, that takes a lot of other knowledge to build up, to even know where that's going to be at a certain time. Mathematics, geometries, like it takes a lot to get to that point. They're not just running around with loincloths. I think that's like the popular culture idea of hunter-gatherers. They're just loincloth guys. They're running out there with sticks or addles or whatever. But they're, like you were saying, they're very smart. We are way more advanced than we as a culture, I think, give them credit for.
Especially if there's mathematics and equations that directly connect to like the size of the earth, right? In these structures here, that proves that they weren't just sitting around hunter gathering. They were actually calculating and figuring out and then building structures based on those mathematics. And it's like, that's not what hunter gatherers do. Hunter gatherers do two things. They hunt and gather. They probably procreate as well, but
in between.
I agree. Yeah, I mean, there's so much more to that, and I think it's just an overlooked kind of part of history. Really, people just dismiss it. They think they're all just like, you know, for 30,000 years they were just gathering berries, hunting, and getting busy, and that was it. You know, but there's a whole other element to it. They got the same brain capacity as us. They've got the same, you know, needs and wants and inspirations. They're probably like accidentally eating tons of magic mushrooms and things like this, you know, and like having these visionary experiences. And I'm convinced, you know, this is one of the things I'm going to be working on, is that the builders of this, they were all inspired by psychedelics, because the abstract nature of the designs and just the ideas just don't seem like a straight mind came up with that. I think there's something quite profound going on. And it was very, this picture here actually is from a Jan Lahoyak. They've just opened up this other site. This is a site near Saybirch. This is near Gobeckli Tepe, really. This is one of the big Taztepala sites, one of the 12 that they're going to excavate. And they've just announced, I heard about it while I was there in September, and then it got announced, and the Japanese team are working on it. A princess from Japan came and opened it all up. And it's been known
Cool.
about for a long time, about like 15 years. But I've been there a few times. And when I went there with JJ Ainsworth, my partner, we found this T-pillar lying on the ground, just a broken T-pillar with carvings on it and everything. We're like, what? It had never been reported. This was like 3 years ago we found this. And we put it in all our videos. We made a big deal about it. None of the authorities care. We went back every year, still lying in the same place. You know, no one's moved it. No one's collected it. I mean, we could have put it in a trunk and moved on, but we thought we better not, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's a bit too big of an ornament for your baggage and everything on the plane.
Yeah.
But this, you know, so that is unbelievable. You can go there and you can find T-pillars lying around unexcavated sites. And so, you know, we've got that claim that we found the first T-pillar of this site. And this is going to be massive, this site. I mean, Ayan Lahoyak, which basically means giant that eats, that's what it translates as, is a massive site. It's technically bigger than Gobeckli Tepe. And there's 6 mounds there, which each are going to have multiple enclosures on them. And so we're looking at something major. And they, you know, we didn't know if they were even going to bother start on this one, but this is actually happening now.
Wow.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, very
Well, it
good.
took them 3
But
years.
at the pace that they're doing, they only did what 2 months at Gobeckli Tepe, and that's the most popular site.
Yeah, but the other sites, like Karahan Tepe, Saybirch, they're going for it. I mean, seriously.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no holding back. And I think I'm delighted that if they weren't doing that, it'd be really disappointing. Gobeckli Tepe is a whole different ball game. They've got to they've got to deal with the tourism side of it, the kind of the status of it and everything, the, you know, World Heritage. So yeah, I get Jimmy Corsetti's view totally, but I also do understand why they're going a bit slower, but they could speed it up a bit, for God's sake. I mean, they really could do like 6 months of a year rather than 2, you know, just to keep working on it. But the other side, they're going.
Sorry, I just wanted to add. It seems like they're not trying to excavate it, more as trying to solidify the tourist sections. You know, putting up the the T-pillar, and you know, they're not going down. It just seems like they're kind of, and they're rebuilding that wall. It just feels like they're turning it more and more into like, this is what it's going to be like. We're not trying to excavate more. We're just trying to like solidify the full tourist section. I don't know. And that's what I worry about these new sites.
It may be a strategy. You go, okay, well, we have 30 some odd sites we could be excavating at the same time. This one's very, very popular for people to come in. It's got the World Heritage Site, you know, certification there. So let's make that the tourist location to bring in the money, to bring in those tourist dollars. And then we use that money to excavate the other ones that are less popular to visit. But at least in that way, we don't have the tourists walking all over the place, and we don't have to worry about scheduling. We can just get into it. Maybe that's the strategy if I want to try to steel man them.
That's a good point.
That could be it.
No. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, I mean, well, they're developing Karahan Tepe now. That's the only other site they're really developing. They're starting. They're building a visitor center there, but you can go there for free to Karahan Tepe. I mean, seriously, it's free. You know, whereas Gobeckli Tepe is like 30+ euros, 35 euros to get a ticket. And they're building a whole new visitor center that's further away, so you have to get buses up from further distances. But they are building these new walkways around the site, which looks like, I mean, I'm hoping they're going to actually, as they start excavating these other areas, you're going to actually be able to walk over there and have a look. You know, which is cool if they are doing that. So it's like 2 sides to this, really. You know, there really is 2 sides to this whole thing with Gobeckli Tepe, and both of them, you know, are making valid points. You got Lee Clare and Neshmi Karal, the top archaeologists there. You got Jimmy and Mike Collins who are pushing, you know, against it and, like, you know, questioning what's going on. And to be honest with you, they've both got their points. You know, I just wish they would speed it up a bit, you know, and actually get stuck in there and not wait 150 years, because this is it. I mean, this is like the mother lode. This is like the smoking gun of who we are, where we came from in a lot of senses. You know, the real first, what I call a super civilization on the planet. And the question about this being a civilization is just coming up a lot recently. And I absolutely it is. I mean, this completely rewrites history. You know, just with what's being found now, and less than 5% of the whole areas of what possibly can be excavated has been excavated. So the potential is insane.
It's limitless. It's limitless. So hopefully, if again, it's not my choice, and I haven't been there, but if Garrett's right, and I was thinking the same thing too, Garrett, if that's a way to draw in the money and keep the focus on the other stuff, that's fine, as long as they're just excavating away on the other stuff.
Yeah, they better be ripping and tearing over there. Okay.
No
those
offense
things
to
excavated.
Turkey or anything, but I'm looking at the land right there, and it's like, it doesn't dig it up. It doesn't.
Yeah,
it's not exactly beautiful. Okay, so you're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know it looks pretty arid out there and pretty dry. I don't know what the weather's like there. Deserty, cold deserty, high deserty, not sure, but you would know, Hugh.
Pretty much. It's pretty deserty, yeah. But in the spring, in early summer, it's kind of green. You get a lot of this low kind of, just grass and shrubs everywhere, things like that. There's no big forest or anything. But yeah, and there's no water at the site. There's no water at Karahan Tepe. That's all in Shanlurfa and other places. But yeah, there's a lot. There's quite a lot going on. They're also starting on a site called Yogenberch. Chinese team are supposedly coming in. They've already started on Mendik Tepe. Chakmak Tepe has been worked on for a couple of years. Both of them are older than Gobeckli Tepe. They're kind of to the kind of southwest of the Gobeckli Tepe Shanlurfa area. You got Sefer Tepe, that's near Karahan Tepe. That's being worked on. That's like just a bit younger than Karahan Tepe. So there's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, it's all starting to come out of the ground. There's other sites like Tasli Tepe, which myself and Andrew Collins investigated, and all we found was two broken T-pillars in the village piled up in a load of rubble, amongst other things. The site itself is completely buried, like they all are, deliberately. And we met the local kind of mayor, if you like, and he showed us some artifacts they found from the area. So there's Harbet Zuvan Tepesi as well. It's another one just south of Karahan Tepe. Yeah, so there's so many. I mean, and some of them are going to be big, really big, as big as Gobeckli Tepe, at least some of them.
And they're all buried.
Yeah, they're all buried. Yeah, absolutely. And if they hadn't have been buried, they wouldn't have survived.
They wouldn't have survived. So, and how many of these sites are there supposed to be? I mean, rough estimate.
Officially 12, but probably 40, possibly more.
Wow.
40 sites buried by hand.
Probably. Yeah. At least. Estimates. Yeah.
So they were just building, and you just mentioned, and this is the first time we heard this. A couple of these sites are now older than Gobeckli Tepe. So do we know how much older?
Yeah, well, these sites don't have any T-shaped pillars, by the way. Gobeckli Tepe is the earliest site with T-shaped pillars. Chakmak Tepe is about 500 years older. Mendik Tepe is just 200 or 300 years older, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. And and these are a bit more simple, but they're still carving enclosures out of bedrock. They're still shaping the bedrock. There's still quite large stones in the constructions. There's like hearths or hearths, or whatever you call them. With, there's grooves cut into the kind of ground, cut into the bedrock, and other things. They found bucranium. They found like bull horns or auroch horns in ceremonial wall placements and things like that. Looks like they're working with geometry as well. I mean, some of the earliest geometry is found in sites older than Gobeckli Tepe, and sites down in the Levant. You get these Natufian sites that are over 14,000 to 15,000 years old. And actually, Chakmak Tepe has got very, very Natufian style about it. If you look at the way they build and everything. And so that's intriguing. So it kind of proves, it's kind of putting together there's actually an Natufian connection, because they were around before Gobeckli Tepe was ever built, but much further south. But now it looks like their style is being found in a direct vicinity. So that's an interesting little take. It's not officially announced or anything, but that's what we've put together ourselves. And so some interesting little leads. I mean, there's obviously a bunch of new stuff at Karahan Tepe. We can mention that if you like. I don't know if you did there's that weird T pillar with a sort of T-shaped face on it.
Yeah, with the face. Well, I just want to say real quick, we've joked about this a lot, about how like suddenly hunter-gatherers just decided to carve in relief, right? And it seems like we're actually getting with these sites that are being found, the escalation of their abilities to carve in relief. I don't know if we're seeing like a direct line into what Gobeckli Tepe has, But maybe that's what we're going to start discovering in these older sites.
Yeah, you got like well, what you've got in so you got the relief carvings. Yeah, this is a rudimentary the head that found in Karahan Tepe. But yeah, what you're talking about is the reliefs. They're all over all the Taztepala sites.
Right.
But there's earlier versions of those in a site called Kortik Tepe on smaller sort of stones like this big with beautiful designs on them in 3D relief. So, and that's 1,000 years older than Gobeckli Tepe, but that's further east up on the Tigris River. Even before that, you've got the Paleolithic caves and the Solutreans and other cultures. And they were carving in relief in the caves on artifacts and on the walls of these caves. And it's very similar style to Göbekli Tepe, but 7,000 to 12,000 years earlier. And so there is if you dig into it, if you dig into the hunter gatherer data, you dig into these earlier places where no one really looked, you find all these correlations. And obviously that's going to be a big thing in the book. You know, that's me and JJ are working on. I think Andrew's mentioned the Solutreans before as well in his work. He's in Göbekli Tepe, Genesis of the Gods, and the connections with them. So there's more data that seems to be backing that up as well.
Yeah, throw that picture back up, Garrett. Because that looks, it's the Urfa Man face. It's got that long nose, right? And we see that in so many places.
Well, you get that in the Tufian places. Actually, you get in the Tufian sort of stone masks with the T shape on them. There's lots of other statues, and there's lots of these what appear to be stone masks, even from Karahan Tepe, that look just like this. But it's the bit above it that gets me. I mean, this is what I think. I think Dan Richards, he put up a picture of B.A. Baracus as a comparison, which I thought was quite weirdly accurate and hilarious at the same time.
Flat top.
Yeah. And there's like a lot of Mohican styles you get as well. So they're pretty, they're pretty well groomed. They may have had tattoos as well. Who knows?
That's crazy.
I saw Johnny Bravo when I first saw it.
Max Headroom as well was
okay.
But but this is the unique thing about this. I'm sure your listeners probably have heard this already, but this is the only official T-shaped pillar, and they're clearly all anthropomorphic, and the T's are supposed to be the heads, but it's the only one with actual carving of a rudimentary face on it. But and again, this isn't like a massive, to me it's not a massive deal. It's kind of interesting, but this is this could have, the problem is this could have been carved later. You got to think about that. Someone might have done it. It's a small T pillar. It's only 4.5 feet tall or so. It's in a later enclosure. It's not one of the earlier big enclosures. So it's probably like pre-pottery Neolithic B, which is a few hundred years younger than the first phase. But so this is but it's there though, and they've actually found one. So it's what to make of it, we don't know.
It's cool.
It's cool.
It's very cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
What do you think about the man that they found, the little T pillar, not a T pillar, a little person
statue
that was covered up by other construction that they found recently, made a big deal of? Like, what do you think that was for? Was that because they were saying it's some kind of like
ritual,
ceremonial ritual thing?
It could be, because you got a humanoid statue. I mean, there's two sort of camps on this. One, it's a ritual votive offering, which is there are some places. I mean, Karahan Tepe's got a lot of the statues were found embedded in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
You got to remember that a lot of them are still there. So it is a thing they did. And so whether it, but the meaning of it is lost to it. We just don't know. We're just trying to work it out. Everyone's trying to work it out and kind of make up their mind about it. But the other idea is that it's just a useful size block that we need to slot into that wall to hold it all up. Which possibly, there was a lot of reconstruction in ancient times at Gobeckli Tepe and at Karahan Tepe. So it could have just been, this one's a bit knackered, we don't really need this one anymore, let's shove it in there. But it's in the main area of enclosures, these what I believe are kind of almost like temples, ritual areas at least. Some people say they're now community areas or meeting places, but I think we don't want to lose the sacred from these sites, because I think there's a deep element of that, especially with all the symbolism there. You can't deny it really, but there's a big push by a lot of people, especially the head archaeologists there, to make it all mundane, to make it just like where people lived, where people kind of hung out and, you know, did their washing and things like that. But actually, to me, there's something profound. You can't have that level of symbolism and monumental architecture.
It takes a lot.
An effort. If there wasn't some meaning to it, you don't just create that. You know,
nobody's building a cathedral for a laundromat. You know.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So you know what this makes me think of, Hugh, is the pillar in Baalbek, the pillar that's in the side of the wall that they used to date it and said, oh, the Romans did it because of that pillar. And you know, many of you guys were arguing like, no, that was obviously a patch job, and there's no sense in dating that. But they have no problem saying it here. Like it was just a statue they needed to help build the wall.
Yeah, I mean, it's a debate. I mean, no one's really sure. They found statues like this before at Gobeckli. There was a very similar one that was found like 10 years ago or something. But yeah, I don't think it's a big surprise. You're going to find a lot more of these kind of things. A lot more. I mean, I'm just very keen for them to get cracking because I've seen the GPR scan that came out 15 years ago, 10 years ago. Yes, there's a massive enclosure where they've just cleared all the olive trees from. Yeah, bigger than anything discovered so far. And
Wait, they've known about that for 15 years, you said?
Yes, that's the thing. And like, and they better choose that next. If they don't choose that next, I'm gonna go mental. I'm just gonna. It's just like what they have to go for that one. If anything, you know, and like they've skirted around it over the years and not really. But now the trees have gone, they kind of have to.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. It's a hell of a job. I mean, if it's bigger than enclosure, it's bigger than anything else. It's bigger than anything else found at the site.
Wow.
God, it must bug him that Jimmy was right.
Dang it.
It's like, now we got to dig here. That son of a bitch American is coming over here causing all this trouble.
It's making us work harder.
Yeah.
You know.
I know you'll make more money if that's what you're worried about. You know, like, you know, more eyes will be on basically what's Egypt 2 at this point with the amount of tourism that's going there.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, I just hope they do. I mean, there's so much potential. I mean, when you consider how little the percentage-wise has been uncovered, and there's so many layers built over it. I mean, even when they were digging out the main enclosures originally, you know, 30 years ago, they were finding layers of terrazzo above the enclosures as though other stuff had been built on it, you know. And so there's so many layers, and you only find the real stuff when you get down to the bedrock. And fortunately, they have done that in the stuff that's been uncovered. But I think there's going to be a whole lot more. I mean, Klaus Schmidt, before he died, he told me and Andrew, he said, when we bumped into him once, and he said, they're going to find stuff here that's 14,000 years old. I guarantee it. He was saying that. He just knew it, you know, so deep in the Ice Age.
Really deep. So, I mean, that means it's been a meeting place for a much longer. And that would be amazing. We'll see if they admit it. But
well, we don't know how old like Darren Kuyu is really, right? I mean, and there could be other underground cities in Turkey that we haven't found yet. I mean, humans could have been living in these areas for, I mean, how far back does modern humans go? 300,000 years now? It was 200, now it's 300. It's just
push back all the time.
Yeah. Who knows? But
yeah, you mentioned Darren Kuyu. There's some research on that. I think Andrew dug this out years and years ago, where there's actually a book you can get. I don't know if I got it there, but it's just called Cappadocia. It's like one of the tourist books. You get the blue sort of large A4 size thing. And he did some research, his archaeologist who wrote the book, on Darren Kuyu, and he found that, you know, firstly, the top layers, the oldest ones they would be, you know, were carved out using stone and bone tools, and there's the lower layers used metal, so clearly that was like Hittites and other groups. But he found all this. He looked for in where the debris of what they cleared out hundreds of tons, thousands of tons of stone to leave the, you know, cavities and chambers. He found where they threw it away in these riverbeds and found Paleolithic tools, you know. And so we're talking like 20,000 years old.
Wow.
So that really surprised him. He mentioned that in his book in this like small paragraph, and it's like, what the hell? You know, it's like that should be like a massive thing. You know,
yeah,
really.
That's a pretty big deal. Yeah,
that's a little important.
But he's claiming, other people claim no, it got contaminated. It's been left there. People were kicking stuff around, you know, and so that is intriguing. Plus, they found we found that tunnel in the Tastepala region, myself and Andrew and other, there's a huge, great tunnel. There's underground features also at Saybirch, which we've been inside and had a look at. And there's a lot of subterranean stuff anyway at these sites where they're kind of going into the bedrock. So there could be a whole lot more. They found a newish underground city in Midyat, which is further east than the whole Gobeckli Tepe, Tastepala region, but it's in between the Tigris and the Euphrates, where the two main kind of ancient settlements were. So they're finding them even over in the east now, rather than all just in Cappadocia. And so so there's a whole potential with that as well.
Well, it seems like that's going around all over the place. I mean, they're doing the Chicanas excavations in Peru as well, and the more they dig, the more they're finding underneath the ground. I think the same goes in Geneng Padang. Is that the name of that place in Indonesia? I feel like we're gonna find underground cities everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, and I think there's a lot of potential. I mean, I'm trying to get the Italian Egypt boys, the Sarscan team, Filippo and Armando coming out. Well, Amando's coming out to England in a couple of weeks, but I'm trying to harass them, if you like, into doing scans over the Tastepala region. Let's see if we can find anything. Because
just open source their software, because it's really just software using existing tools. Just release it to the wild. Let the internet autists scope the earth with that stuff.
It's crazy when they were explaining, how they only have one computer. That's how they're rendering all this. I was like, you have one computer for this? Oh my god, that's crazy. We need to get a whole fleet of processors.
Network.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I didn't know there's only one computer. It's probably, hopefully it's just not their laptop they're carrying around with them, maybe. But they said that's why it takes so long, because they're constantly processing, just forever. But I'm gonna find out what I can when they get over it, because I want to have a look. I mean, I've got very specific GPS coordinates, which I'm pretty sure there's stuff at. I mean, cool. they could even do Gobeckli Tepe, and they might find something bizarre. Who knows? But let's wait and see.
Oh, I'm sure there's no shortage of places. Somebody just mentioned in the chat the labyrinth in Egypt. It's hell yes.
Egypt.
Let's go.
We could put them to work for a long time. They will not have to worry about job security at all. And maybe we get MetaPC to sponsor them.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
But really, what Adam was saying is open source that software. They can be the progenitors of it, but get that out there so more people could use it, so more people across the world can investigate.
I mean, it's easy for us to say, "Hey, make your shit free." Come on.
But
they need to make money. They need to eat. Write books or something. They can do that. But that's
sell the software. There you go. You sell that
every time you guys come back from Turkey, Hugh. You've got something new, something truly interesting. Not just you never come back and go, "I didn't find anything this time."
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's the stuff that's going. I mean, this is it. This is it. I'm stuck with this for years now. This is going to be the big thing. There's a bunch of us very focused on trying to get all the latest stuff. I'm trying to get proper permission to go there on the winter solstice, before they put this roof up. But I think I'm not going to get it. But I'm going to try. I've got someone asking the head archaeologist there to sort of put a good word in for me, but we'll see. But yeah, so there's also roofs going up and things like that. But honestly, there's so much, being discovered out there. Of course, there's always going to be news, and it's not going to stop. It's just going to become, people are going to get used to it. They're going to get bored of it at some point, probably, because it's so relentless. And we just need to address it, in the correct way. And I think a lot of it, you got to be careful. The interpretation thing is the issue, because they kind of narratives are being forced through, making it quite mundane. And and this is why I'm quite keen on, if there is geometry, if there are interesting measurement systems, if there is a magnetic anomaly, which there is in Gobeckli Tepe, if they were using water, if there's evidence of the symbolism, and astronomical alignments, we need to, really focus on that. And this is why I'm trying to get the archaeologist, Karahan Tepe, at least, to address some of this, especially the astroarchaeological, the alignment, the winter solstice alignment, because the fact that we found that immediately, really easily, quickly. The first time we went there, we happened to turn up on the winter solstice sunrise morning and saw that phenomenon. It makes you think, well, if that's there, what else is going to be uncovered? Was this like, were these people, all the sites going to have something like that? If they get them excavated, are they going to find all these hold stones and these heads getting illuminated? Is it going to be like part of their kind of tradition, part of their culture, even seen as their kind of gods, like these heads, these statues they keep finding? And so the interpretations are the issue, because you've got, we're being told by the archaeologists it's pretty mundane. There's people living there. These are community areas. They aren't temples. They're not for sake. There's a little bit of ritual going on here and there. But I think there's something much more profound, much more profound. And it's they're like universities, ancient universities, bringing tons, knowledge together that's been collected for thousands of years.
If it's just a gathering site, like, you have to have water. If you're just gathering people coming together, hanging out, you need some kind of water source. Yeah, so there's a very specific reason they picked that hilltop or the other hilltops. It's I don't know. It's just being like, it's just a hangout area.
Some of them don't have any water. I mean, Gobeckli Tepe is well known for that. But what they have got there is, firstly, you've got Llanlurfa, massive rivers going through there in ancient times. There's 4 main springs in Llanlurfa. That's half a day's walk, if you look at it from an ancient perspective. You could walk there in half a day. You could walk back the same day. It's like collect water. So there's that. There's also, like, they found, Lee Clare's been doing this. They found all these cisterns. They found all these channels, collecting water, harvesting rainwater. So there's a lot of that, and they're carving out a bedrock to create that. And one of the areas at Gobeckli Tepe in the northwest, they found like this cistern with these channels, and they found what looks like megalithic blocks as like a roof to protect it from dirt going in. And so they were doing this at Karahan Tepe as well. And so there's no natural water source there. And so the rainwater harvesting thing, again, that's a technology. I mean, this is like a pretty advanced technology for its time. And so you have to look at what that. But some of the sites have water. They have rivers or streams nearby as well, but not all of them. The 2 main ones don't seem to have that.
But we're talking about.
I just want to say that you were talking about the solstices and how important it is, and these sites all seem to have a connection to that. These new walls that they're putting up and like putting together these 2 pillars. I just hope that someone there thinks about the solstices, thinks about the potential connections or the destruction of what could have been a beautiful thing, like how the light hit the face at Karahan Tepe. Like, are they actually ruining something that was actually part of the structure when a solstice happens?
Are you talking about the modern roof they might be putting up? Is that
well, the roof over at Gobeckli Tepe already ruined the ability to see the sky when you're in there. So no, I'm talking about the new walls that they're putting up in Gobeckli Tepe.
Okay, yeah, no, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, no, because that's interesting. Yeah, it's a good point, because in Enclosure C, where they've been reconstructing the wall, just behind that to the north, in 2015, I was with Andrew. He spotted this porthole stone just smashed in half on the ground right there behind the wall. I mean, there was an image of it earlier, but it's in my latest video on Gobeckli Tepe. I do a little piece about that with Andrew talking about it, and so that should have been, if that should have been placed in the wall before they rebuilt it, really, and that would have matched what you get in Enclosure D as well. And that is just off the north, and this is Andrew's Cygnus alignments he's been working on over the years. But there's also the stuff JJ's doing as well about the symbol. There you go, that's it there. And that's pretty much where it was found, where just below that to the left is actually where that is. So that was a hold stone, and that was just in the same position as with the one in Enclosure D. And obviously we have the one in Karahan Tepe, which is focused on the winter solstice. It's a different orientation, different angle. But there's tons of these being found. There's a big one that's found in the new big enclosure at the top of the hill at Karahan Tepe. Giant one. I mean, this is like 3-ton block, carved out and placed. And there's tons of them being found in all these different sites. There's even one at Bonchoklu Tala, which is a much older site. It's 500 years, maybe 1,000 years older than Gobeckli Tepe, way up east on the Tigris, near Cortic Tepe and all the sites up there. And that's in an enclosure with 4 megalithic pillars and a porthole stone going off in one direction. And so, yeah, I think you got, the reconstruction and also the building of the roof, which they're doing at Karahan Tepe, is an issue, but so let's hope they don't do too much, really, but I think that they are planning to do quite a bit more reconstruction. But one of the things I'm working on with a good friend of mine who I've worked with for a couple of years, called Kevin Esslinger, we're working on 3D reconstructions of these sites.
Cool.
We've already done quite a lot on Karahan Tepe. I've just supplied him with a load more data to try and build the new enclosures that have been uncovered. He's also working on one from Gobeckli Tepe as well. I've just supplied him with more data for that, some basic scans I got with my iPhone, and so we're gonna, and then once we get that, we can clear all the debris, we can clear away all the kind of midden mound behind it, we can place the night sky from 9,600 BC, move the sun around as it would have done, and actually get shadows and light coming through whole stones. So
Cool.
It's going to take a while, but we're working on it.
It's possible.
So that's a project I'm really trying to push forward with, but just trying to find the time. But we might, so he's very, very smart, this guy. He did a whole reconstruction of Puma Punku as well, and found a solstice alignment when he did it, and it blew his mind, because he initially created the Karahan Tepe reconstruction to disprove the winter solstice thing we discovered, because he was being coerced into it, saying, "Oh, it's not real." So he thought, "Well, I want to check it myself." He checked it, and he was like, "What? It works like a dream," and absolutely perfectly. And so now he's open to it. And when he was reconstructing Puma Punku for this episode of Ancient Aliens, it came out like a few months ago.
Oh, where they put all the blocks back together. We watched that.
He found the solstice alignments, both the solstice and the equinox. And
cool.
It's highly likely that this statue, this Viracocha statue's face, was getting illuminated on the different times of year through the porthole window. So that's
mind blowing.
Yeah, I just went crazy with that. Yeah, and so if you just spend a bit of time and actually have a bit of time reconstructing and playing around with it, so then building these walls may not matter. I don't think I'm going to be able to stop them. I mean, I could physically lie down like Arthur Dent in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Great reference right there.
But that,
that's why you're cool.
and give it a go. Probably get whipped off in the mothership before I know it. But this is like, this, it's beyond my control. It's beyond our control. But we can at least, like Jimmy's been doing, put pressure. Say, look, so I'm relentless. I think, with the winter solstice alignment at Karahan Tepe, me and JJ are just relentless with it. We're just going to keep talking about it. We're going to try and get an academic paper published on it, which will really get noticed if that's the case. We're going to it's going to be the main feature of a new book. So we're not going to quit. We're going to make sure. So if they do block the alignment, people are going to go, "Why did you do that?" You clear them poles and bit of roof away. We want to see it. So this is the Puma Punku thing. I mean, this is like remarkable. I mean, this is like a modern construction. I mean, this is actually Kevin's work. I think that's actually, I think that was his reconstruction he was working on. He's got
that's awesome.
Yeah, he's got some with the astronomy on it as well, the Puma Punku stuff. But he was working with Alexei. He's the guy who's been excavating the tunnels in Sacsayhuaman going under Cusco. So, yeah, he's the same guy, basically. So he's been working with him. But, yeah, I'm keen to get the Testepala stuff kind of, we're working away on that. Hopefully we're going to have something to present on that relatively soon.
Awesome.
I mean, that's all the stuff. When I first saw that they were reconstructing some of the different enclosures at Gobeckli Tepe, we were talking about it. And I was like, we have the technology to 3D scan all the rocks that are there, all the different pieces that are broken off, and we can digitally reconstruct it all. You don't even have to take them and try to put plaster and you don't need that.
Devil AI out there is going to be so helpful in your
Yeah.
field, Hugh. It's
I think it is, yeah, and I know I'm scared of it, but I'm also like thinking, God, this could be useful,
yes.
you know, and it really could be. But I'm working, yeah. So Kevin, who I'm working with, I think we're going to start applying that if we need to, but he's not had to yet because he's an artist. He's like 3D artist, so he actually like enjoys, you know, creating it, you know, as we, you know, and then we kind of work on it, shape it how we think it would be shaped, you know, things like this. So he quite enjoys that side of it, and I quite enjoy that as well, you know, because I think, but there's so many possible uses with AI. I mean, that one of the things they're doing with that, you probably know about this, is that there's a whole thing where they're analyzing. They've trained AI to read Sumerian script, so they're now putting all these really faded Sumerian tablets through them and getting full translations coming out.
What?
And
Yeah.
it's blowing
Oh,
people's
wow.
minds.
Yeah.
And so, and this is a genuinely really good thing. We're actually working on an episode of a popular History Channel TV show that's going to cover all the AI possibilities with it as well. And so that was one of the things they were looking at. But also, you can then apply that to reconstructing, placing the night sky, things like
Maybe
this.
translating languages. Was it
Yeah.
the Indus Valley language, or right?
Yeah.
They have no idea how to translate that.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah, just the particular, once you get them going on it, it's like training kind of, you know, the algorithms. It's amazing what, you know, may be able to come out from it. So there are positives with AI. It's just
it's a
also
tool.
all the movies that have come out about it,
Yeah.
which is likely to happen. You know, it's like
the AI is gonna translate Indus Valley script, and it's gonna say, "We created AI, and they killed us all."
Yeah. Oh no.
yeah,
What have we done?
yeah. Well, yeah,
No.
you're gonna get Terminator speaking Sumerian fluently or something.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the other concern.
Hopefully, it'll tell us some things before the robots come and kill us all. But no, it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be really useful.
Yeah.
And it protects all these sites. It's gonna be able. Technology is going to improve so much. Just look at LiDAR, you know, like it's getting cheaper as time goes on. And then eventually you're going to be able to just do it from like a really, not even a commercial drone, from like a normal drone.
Yeah, get a
You
DJI
get a freaking
Osmo or something.
Walgreens or whatever. It's going to be able to do like a mini scan for you. And things are going to, your work is going to pay off, Hugh. So if you don't know, chat, Hugh Newman and Andrew Collins, when it comes to Turkey, of course, Klaus Schmidt gets on Gobeckli Tepe. Klaus Schmidt gets all the credit for finding and everything. But these guys are G's. They've been going for years and years. I've been watching them for years and years before anybody touched these sites, and talking to the locals, getting to know them, not being a bunch of dicks. So they have really good relationships with them, and finding stuff out before even some of the, I don't want to get you in too much trouble, for the researchers do, you know, a lot of times. And it just helps to talk to people, right? And you know, and be respectful over there.
No, for sure. Yeah, no, it's a big deal. I mean, yeah, I mean, you got to kind of be friendly and nice, you know, and everything. And we get let onto lots of sites before they get excavated. It's very cool. I don't know how legal that is. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but we do anyway. And but we don't take anything. We don't even take a kind of blade, nothing, you know, not a splinter of obsidian, nothing. I don't touch anything. We're very respectful. We follow their rules, the family's rules, and things like that. But things happen. I mean, I think, you know, like we had that magic experience of turning up on the winter solstice at Karahan Tepe, which was like all serendipitous. It was all a series of kind of synchronicities, and getting in trouble as well that got us there at that time, you know. So it became this kind of very interesting, you know, so I'm always looking at things like that, you know, certain things that may seem like troublesome could actually be opening up doors for other things, you know. So I think you got to keep an open mind with that kind of thing, and also like just, you know, stepping off the beaten path as often as possible, just taking a look, you know, simple as that.
Yeah, going out to India to look at Cartruts. That's crazy. You were out in the middle of nowhere.
Reasons,
yeah.
I didn't go just to look at one set of Cartruts to, you know, but I would though, probably, you know.
You would. You totally would. I like that video. That whole wall there that you went, like, there's no way I'm going to India, but like,
India's
nowhere.
Cool. No, honestly, India is so cool. I I loved it. I mean, I had a beautiful experience. I had to go on my own because bloody JJ couldn't get a visa, didn't come through. So I had to go. She went to Mexico, mind you, but so I had to go on my own. But trust me, I was like in a dream the whole time I was there for like 3 or 4 weeks. And it's easy if you just do it correctly. You can get around, you can see everything. There's lots of modern stuff as well. Man, it's something special. I mean, my boy Praveen Mohan is the kind of guy from India.
Yeah.
He's done a lot of cool work out there. You obviously met him
cool.
at Cosmic Summit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I met him out there, actually. I met him out there for a couple of days. But yeah, India is like very, very interesting. Even the Cartruts.
Hey, we supposedly have some here. I haven't seen them yet, but here in Texas, Michael's seen them.
Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah, and I heard a few people have spotted them. Yeah, that's intriguing.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's awesome.
Really weird.
I would go and hunt them down if I could. Yeah, I mean, that'd be cool.
Well, if you're ever in Texas, we'll have Mike take you out, man. So
okay,
I'll go too. We have dinosaur tracks too.
Yeah, I've heard that there's some in. Yeah, I've heard there's quite a lot of. Is that the Paluxy? Is that the Paluxy
yeah,
stuff?
there's actually a couple sites, and then there's the 23,000-year-old human footprints in White Sands up in New Mexico. There they are.
Oh, these are the ones from India. Yeah,
India.
Yeah.
So these are near Rajgir. So this is like I just mentioned this. It's a really funny story. Not funny story, classic legendary story from the Mahabharata, where look there, you can see it's carved out of basalt as well. This isn't like soft rock, and it's just two. It's just I think it's me and Praveen chatting there actually at the Cosmic Summit. So they're carved out like parallel rows like that, and there's only one set of them. So it's thought to be like the chariot of the great god going through there on his way to like destroy a city. It's such heat from his chariot. It kind of like, put that.
I like that story.
Yeah. It's very, very interesting and very interesting site. And it's not like, very few people actually go there, there's like no one there literally, but it's worth the trip. If you're going up to look at the Barabar caves, it's kind of a few hours from there. Yes, it's a few hours from there. It's not too difficult. You can get around.
It's a few hours. See, he's like it's just a few hours in India.
Yeah, I live in Texas. Everything's a few hours.
Yeah, it's India. India's like a continent. This is like so. This is like next. This is next door, basically.
Yeah. Oh, how'd you hear about him? Did that's a local or you're from another researcher? Or?
I got to be honest with you, I had a very strange thing with this. I just was looking on Google Maps at some cool stuff, and I spotted them. I was like, what?
Oh, you found them.
There
That's
you
awesome.
go. There you go.
No, not Google Maps. There was a thing, a sign saying,
okay, so somebody,
gotcha. This chariot,
like a landmark or something,
a Brahma or something like that. And I thought, what the hell could chariot marks be?
Yeah.
What could that be? But then I found out my friend who I visited as well, who's studying. There's actually stone circles in India as well from Subhashis Das. He's a really cool guy. I went out, spent a few days with him looking at these megaliths and stone circles and stone rows, just like in Britain. That was like 2 hours the other direction from here on the way to Barabar Caves. And so he visited them, but I clocked that after I kind of found them looking on the maps. But yeah, it's pretty, and they're exactly the same width as the ones in Malta.
Yeah,
and
I was going to ask you.
That looks like
the same width. Yeah.
It's so strange that they're that similar. They're in Peru, they're in Texas, they're Malta, they're
carved out of basalt. Any idea how old the basalt is?
Well, no, I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean,
okay.
No, I don't think so. I don't think there's any clear. There's no real clarity about them, because in India they don't see them as Cartruts. They see them as like the chariot wheels of the gods burning through the ground. There you go. And that's the kind of there's the traditions are really interesting. When you start looking into it. But India's got a lot more than this. There's actually very strong connections I'm finding with Testepala sites. We're finding like lingam type structures. Actually, there's a new discovery at Karahan Tepe. It's in my new video, where there's a mini like pillar shrine structure AB with all the pillars and the head, with the winter solstice pit. They've actually found a mini one of those with one big pillar sticking out of it, which is and that's just like a Shiva lingam. And which you get in India, which you get in the Indian subcontinent, the whole area, which is only a couple of thousand years old, that tradition, allegedly. But you have many other Vedic things with the astronomy, the symbolism. You've got the kind of serpent on the back of the head of the Navali Churi statue, which is like a Shikta or a Vedic priest ponytail. So I was out there. I had a dream actually about going to India and seeing T-pillars out there and meeting Subhash's death in my dream. And I thought, right, I have to definitely go then because I'm going to find some connection there. Didn't find any T-pillars yet. But we found connections. I found a lot of interesting little connections, which we've been writing about.
I recognize that room from the Cosmic Summit.
Yeah.
Yes, Praveen doing his thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe you should do a tour to India someday.
Yeah, we're working on it actually. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, again, it's like it's a continent, so you've got to you can't do the whole damn country. It's like doing the whole of Europe in one trip. It's like or more. But yeah, no, there's a number of really cool sites in the north. There's a number of really cool sites in the south you can go and visit on one trip and then on that separate trip. Praveen's actually doing a tour to Thailand. He's got one coming up in November, I think, actually. So if anyone wants to look at the temples of Thailand with Praveen, check him out. Check out his Praveen Mohan website. He's doing that. Yeah.
So we're heading to Egypt in a month and 4 days.
Just under.
And this is my first time there, Hugh. First time in Africa. I've always just gone to Europe and Mexico.
Okay.
Been to Peru once, but
wow. Okay.
So this is like bucket list stuff for me. Been wanting to do this my entire life. Even risk you probably heard, I hate flying. So I'm going to risk that. But to the complete layman, what do we need to watch for? Like I asked earlier, how do you avoid the Cartruts? I didn't even think about those. I heard Jay Anderson talking about them on Twitter. He said I have an upset stomach, and somebody called him the King Tut Trots.
There's quite the Pharaoh's curse is the But yeah, what I do, I mean, I've still got sick sometimes. Occasionally, I take a lot of probiotics when I travel. I up the dose, triple it. I take 3 times. I take like 9 probiotics every day, strong ones as well, and just keep your body full of probiotics. I also take something called citricidal, which is grapefruit seed extract. I have that after every meal. I take charcoal tablets as well. Activated charcoal. They're the 3 main things I take, but we've always got JJ with us, so she's like a nurse. She knows all the different medication in the pharmacies there. If you do get sick, you can kill it off pretty quickly with antibiotics over the counter as well. But yeah, just don't eat salads. That's my recommendation. Don't drink any tap water, and that's the other thing. And for you, I wouldn't even wash your teeth with tap water, to be honest with you.
That got him. That
got me in Peru, man.
Yeah. I mean, but for me,
they made fun of me. They made fun of me, Hugh.
Yeah, but I do recommend a probiotic route. I mean, I'm not saying it's going to prevent anything. And it's like in India, it's the same thing. I like to see food kind of being very well cooked. Very well cooked. And then, if it's in one of the nice hotels and you got the buffets, they're generally fine. I still wouldn't eat the salads personally.
Yeah.
I just, anything that's been washed just in case. Although the posher hotels won't, they'll always use tap water. They'll always use bottled water for stuff like that anyway. So, but generally you might be fine. Some people just don't have any issue at all. Other people do. I mean, are you going on a cruise?
Are we No, we're going.
We're doing a Nile. Yeah. We are doing a Nile River cruise.
Somebody said, how long are you there for?
How many days is the trip? Is this the one?
7 days.
Yeah, it's one with Mike.
Yeah.
So
okay, so you're mainly doing Giza and Saqqara and all that. Yeah. Are you going down south to the Assyrian, Abydos, or anything?
We are. I don't know how far south we're going.
Okay,
but we're like traveling down and then taking the Nile River cruise back up.
Okay,
but I don't know how far down we're going.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Egypt is the richest place on earth for massive megalithic constructions. it's insane. It's utterly insane. Personally, I find it insane. I can't cope with it half the time. When I first went there, I couldn't handle it. Just couldn't handle it. It was just like, what the hell?
Sensory overload.
I just
I
felt
can't wait.
this can't be built by humans. You know, this is too outrageous. You know, you go inside any of the pyramids, especially the Great Pyramid, I guess, and it looks like it's like a kind of factory made of granite, precision carved granite factory, but no idea why it's shaped and carved out like that. It's like, what the hell is this? It's not like you go in there, you don't feel it's like a sacred space at all. For me, anyway, I feel like it's like a kind of industrial complex. But you know, there is amazing acoustics, there's precision, geometry, and things like that. So that could be their way of it being sacred. But yeah, it's remarkable. I mean, it's when you start digging into the weight of some of the stones they're using, even on the Giza Plateau, some of the middle pyramid, actually the one with the so-called kind of, you know, subterranean structures. Go around the back of that one as well. There's all these kind of entrances underneath. You can actually look down them, carved out of the bedrock.
Cool.
And you know that, like, the middle pyramid, Khafre's pyramid, the back end of it is literally, the pyramid is partly constructed of bedrock. It's actually shaped like blocks, but it's not. It's actually just a huge, about 1/6 of it is actually just bedrock, and you can see it, you know, if you carefully look. And then they kind of built up around it. And then at the front, because it's sloping down the front, they've actually had to put these, you know, 100-ton blocks underneath it to sort of prop it up, you know, on that side of it. So there's little things like that you won't notice. I'm sure Mike and others, your guides, and that'll point this out to you as well. But yeah, if you're into the megaliths, this is you're gonna enjoy it. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, I can't wait, man.
Me neither.
I can't wait. My jaw will be on the ground the whole time. Probably, I'll just be speechless. But
it's
and
part
forget
of the
to
reason
record everything. Like,
yeah, it's part of the reason I got a new camera.
Footage.
Yeah, because I'm bringing this one with me.
Oh, it's just epic. Yeah, I mean, anyway, if you go down south, you can spend weeks down there. Maybe are you going to look at the Aswan Quarry? Are you going that far south? That's a long way south.
No, that's too far.
Mainly in the north. Man, you got enough. Trust me, you're going to be busy if you know, seriously.
Yeah.
You don't, you know,
it's pretty packed.
Do the south
Luxor,
on another trip.
Saqqara, the statues of Memnon.
Yeah. You probably got Dashur pyramids in there as well. You know, the red and bent pyramid. They're really fascinating. Yeah, I mean, it's just like you go there. I mean, when I went there, I thought, you know, Stonehenge was big. You know, I think Egyptians come and look at Stonehenge and they're just like, what? Why have you brought me here?
They propped up some stones.
So
good job.
I did that this morning.
Yeah, this is, you know, it's just like a little kind of garden ornament. You know, it's like, you know, it's nothing. But the scale of it is majestic. Yeah, it's a really magical place to go.
Oh,
are you staying in Cairo, or you staying near the pyramids?
Yes, I think so.
Probably
in Cairo.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
No idea.
You can see how much research I've done on my own trip. I think we're going to some places. I wanted to go to Elephantine Island.
That's down south.
Yeah, that's down south. That's the one that's got the TARDIS. So
yeah, that's right.
It's got a straight up TARDIS on its side.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, Garrett?
No.
One piece of stone. One piece of stone, that is.
Yeah, I'll find it for you.
Yeah,
cool.
That's granite. I mean, this is the thing. They're working with granite and diorite. I mean, I guess you'll see the new museum, which is cool.
Yeah.
I think that's open now. That's got a lot in there. I mean, it's a bit of, I mean, it reminds me of a shopping center in Essex. The design of it, it's like, it's got this whole kind of, you know, cafes and like little activity areas and, you know, shopping trolleys and things like that. It's like, you know, it's a bit odd, the new museum. It's not, it's the old, if you can go to the old museum, that's kind of got this old school vibe about it. Dust and like handwritten labels and things like that.
Cool.
There it is. That's the TARDIS.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the TARDIS. That thing is awesome, man. I want to see that. But X-Ray Girl, how far south are we going, X-Ray Girl? If you're still there, let me know in the private chat. Because now
is Luxor. Maybe that's the farthest south.
It might say on our trip. on our actual.
Let me just look at Google Maps.
It does. It does say.
It,
It does tell you where they're going. Yeah.
None of you are willing to look at the poster by the looks of it. That's interesting.
Where is
I'm
the
not-
poster?
Like, I have no idea.
Oh, do you want me to show that, X-Ray girl? Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's a whole itinerary.
We're
They
selling
planned
it.
it out.
What we got? Let's have a look.
It is
yeah,
Luxor.
down Luxor way. Yeah.
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 Sphinx, East Luxor, West Luxor, Cairo Bazaar. That sounds fun.
Yeah, that's like the big street, like fair
Shit, I'm gonna buy the shit out of stuff.
tourist.
Yeah,
What the
I
hell
just
is
want an
ancient?
Egyptian
You gotta get me
flute.
something.
The
Ancient
the
tombs.
Nile reed flute. I'm gonna buy one of those.
I can't work out what that means. Ancient tombs to twilight tracks. I mean, what the hell is that?
Do we watch
Oh,
Twilight?
Saqqara. Okay, yeah. Okay, you're going to the Serapeum.
Yeah, they project the Twilight onto the side of the pyramid.
Oh, so we're going to the Serapeum?
Yeah, well, that's a Saqqara. If you don't
Yeah.
go, if you go to Saqqara and don't go to the Serapeum, I'm never going to speak
gonna-
to you again.
I'm gonna punch Michael.
Mike's
in
in
the face.
chat. Did you hear that, Mike? All right.
I'm gonna punch
Noted.
in the face, dude.
You should all be beaten if you don't go there. That's for
Yes.
sure.
What's up, Michael? Really selling this trip. It's like, hey, I signed up. No idea where I'm fucking going.
He said yes in chat. I see him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing the sleeper train as well. I spotted that just then.
Yeah.
You're doing the sleep.
I'm excited about that.
That's kind of
What's-
fun.
What's that?
Well, it means you have to sleep on the train because it takes so damn long. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay. I mean, it's just what it's called.
Yeah. I think I did that once actually. I think I did that many years ago, but yeah, we generally fly down there nowadays. Oh, you're not a big fan of. I never used to be a fan of flying either. I had a huge fear of it for many years. In fact, I got a fear of it. Just came up just before I was about to go to Peru for the first time,
Mm.
and then continue to like America, and then come back like 6 flights. And I've got this huge fear. I was like having these horrific kind of, and then I think saw this. If I don't go, I'm not going to be able to do anything. And so I just did it,
Yeah.
and I like got over it pretty quickly. And just now it's like just
Peru is
I'm-
worth it.
I'm getting better.
it's tough, man, because you're not in control. And it's like, you got, I think one of the stats that got me, which really kind of changed everything, is that even when there's turbulence, which is the worst feeling if you don't like flying, apparently 0 planes have crashed because of turbulence, like 0%, because that's not really ever the problem. It's
No,
turbulence. They're designed for that.
Takeoffs and landings and stuff. I've gotten better, and it's because I fly business class now. So I pay so much extra money just to feel better.
Yeah.
It's so
Right.
ridiculous how much this plane flight costs. Fucking
To Egypt?
Egypt.
Oh
It is
man.
dumb. It is dumb. I'm cheap on kind of everything except for my collectibles. I won't buy new furniture. I won't buy new cars. I don't buy brand new houses. I buy older fucking houses. When it comes to plane flights, I'm like, no.
You're like,
First
bougie.
class, bougie. Let's fucking go.
I watched him. I watched the curtain get closed. He was like,
Dude, you put up that meme from Always Sunny, right?
Yeah, yeah. Get at
yeah.
each other.
I was like, have fun,
For you.
pleb.
Not for you.
It makes it better. It does. You got your little, you can like rest.
Your little
and
pelt
got my own little
pillows
tea.
and-
Warm towel. The warm towel actually made me feel better too. I did.
Like a baby.
That's good.
Yeah, like a
Like, oh,
baby.
oh.
Like a baby. Dude, my wife clowns me the whole time. For one, it's hard. Like it's hard for her because like I am just super nervous before the flight, so I'm kind of a dick the whole time before we go on the plane. So I try not to talk too much, and it's just anxiety, right? But like then she clowns me a lot when I'm on the plane. Like when it starts bumping, she'll go. You know?
But you can tell her that stat.
I will.
Turbulence. 100, we're fine. Even with turbulence. I mean, I've been in horrific turbulence when I went to Peru once. I was with a few people, and it was. I genuinely thought I'm going to die, and we didn't. So it proves it. Yeah. There you go.
I was starting to get over flying. This was 20 years ago. We're flying out to my wedding in Las Vegas from San Francisco. and it's in the fall, so it's during in California, it's basically Santa Ana season, so lots of wind coming from the dry wind, so it's coming up the mountains. So it's the worst fucking. Las Vegas is not a good place to fly into anyway, period. But so I'm getting cool with it, and we hit the mountains, and then our plane drops like what feels like a mile, like it just whoa, like, and all of a sudden the wings just do, everybody's freaking screaming, and my wife yells at other people because it was making me nervous. It's like, calm the fuck down.
Oh god,
yeah,
Oh, it's funny.
that wasn't fun. Peru was like, it was actually a good flight. The worst part of the flight from Peru was going to fucking Atlanta airport. Sorry, that place was a
That
nightmare.
place is
Lima
horrible.
has a better
I've been through
airport
there.
than Atlanta, and it was
Atlanta
under
sucks.
construction.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah, the people in Lima were better. Like the whole experience was better in Peru than in America. Speaking of which, you were talking to, I wanted to bring this up before, with Gobeckli Tepe, with the fact that they're even excavating there and it's only because it's in Turkey or in Egypt or in Peru. Imagine if these sites were in America, they wouldn't get touched. We wouldn't be able to get near them. They wouldn't be able to dig shit up like at all.
Because of necro and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we should be grateful, that they're willing to do it at all. Really.
Yeah. I mean, I'm eternally grateful. I mean, I really, they've got to be challenged. It's got to be pushed in the right direction. I think it's good to have alternative, aspects and ideas coming in. But man, they could have not. I mean, it may not have been found, Gobeckli Tepe, or anything. It may not. It could have continued a whole other civilization. Our civilization could have come and gone, and the next civilization would then find it in hundreds of years' time. So you just don't. It's pretty impressive that we've found it, and. You got to remember the whole thing that multiple civilizations have passed through that area of Southeast Turkey. I mean, almost everyone, that is the route through Şanlıurfa, through Urfa, it used to be called. Armies have gone through there, like the civilization. It's huge, and no one spotted it. Although I've got this theory I'm working on I've got this. If you go to Sayburch, especially, but you get this near Gobeckli Tepe and Karahan Tepe as well, there's always Roman stuff super close to these sites. Lots of Roman stuff. And so with what we found at Sayburch, there's this like the main enclosure they've uncovered now, which I've done this geometry thing on as well. Next to that, there's a whole rock cut area, like squares cut out the rock. You probably remember that from the bedrock. And that is supposedly a part of a Roman quarry. And it's literally 4 meters away from the main enclosure at Sayburch. And I'm like, hang on a sec. Did the Romans discover the Testepala culture? And then me and Andrew investigated another hill next door, which is a huge Roman quarry, a quarter of a mile away, so we know that there's this, and then also on this kind of rock cut area where the Romans supposedly quarried, just next to where they cut it, like centimeters away, there's this Testepala carving of this like amoeba type thing with a kind of mushroom shaped serpent head on it. And they've left that alone. And they've left the main enclosure alone, but still, and almost like stopped the quarrying and moved on. So that is
crazy.
I can't quite get my head around it. So I can't imagine, they're telling us constantly this is a Roman quarry, but maybe it's not. Maybe it is a Testepala quarry. We don't know, but there's little things like that. It's like, you keep, and even on the opposite hill to Karahan Tepe, called Gobeckli Tepe, which is the original name of Karahan Tepe, actually. There's a whole load of caves, there's artifacts, there's rock cut areas up there, which myself and Andrew have investigated. And that's got Roman activity on it as well. And so that's just next to Karahan Tepe. So it just makes me wonder if they were actually discovering Testepala, the sites there, and then kind of left it. Either they got some kind of demons came up out of the ground, or the locals scared them off, or they just had this sense of like, we shouldn't do anything further, there's something important here. I don't know, but there's so I find that really intriguing that
crazy.
You're getting these so close to it in all these sites.
Imagine being a Roman and going, this shit looks old.
But they've got no context for it. They probably don't even know about Stonehenge and stuff like that. It's like, I mean, that's really interesting. Speaking of Stonehenge, there's stuff going on around here as well. We mentioned this before the thing, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
Adam
have
brought
to,
that up.
you have to tune in to Hugh's conference in a couple of weeks to find out some big time information that they're from Stonehenge. Some new stuff. We're still getting new stuff from the UK.
Yeah,
So I'll
and
tell you
this
what
is-
I know,
Yeah.
and then
Okay.
if I'm right or if I'm wrong or if because so I've very little stuff, but I've been like seeing things like there's a huge circle under Stonehenge that's bigger than Stonehenge with like I don't know 20 feet tall timbers structures
Okay.
that's like a big C shape or something underneath Stonehenge. Am I right?
That's near Stonehenge. That's Durrington
Okay.
Walls, I think we're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll clarify that for people. Yeah, so that's it's about half a mile to a mile away, and it's a huge earthwork. And they thought they found these stones going around the edge of it. And this is just next
Right.
to Woodhenge as well, actually. But they were actually timber posts. This sort of a few years ago. But they've now done a lot of scanning, like sort of going, GPR type stuff all over the landscape, and they're finding features right at Stonehenge. I mean, one of the areas of my research, which I've written about, actually, I put an article up about it late last year. I'm going to be talking about it at the Origins and at the Quest for Ancient Civilizations as well, is that there's evidence now at Stonehenge itself, which is 5,000 years old, that they were observing the solstices 10,000 years ago, because the actual location of Stonehenge itself was marked by these giant wooden pine posts. And also there was a mound within Stonehenge and a mound at the bottom of where the avenue is, which marks the solstice. And they were actually natural, what are called periglacial stripes or strips going down in the same orientation as the solstice between these two mounds. And so there appears, and I've got, you line it all up and it works as a very early solstice marker. But the other thing about this area, and this is the gentleman I just was with yesterday, I went to this new excavation that they're working on. He's worked on a site called Blick Mead. Now, this is just east of Stonehenge, a mile east of it. It spreads out across the whole area. I've been in there a few times. It's in this private land. And they found a settlement that's 10,000 years old that was used over and over again. They found all these evidence of feasting, gatherings. There's this pink algae that forms on the rocks. There's this platform that was there. There's these different eras of it, as well as even a cave there as well. But then the most recent stuff, this dates to 10,000 years, which is really intriguing. And this is, this is where I'm living now. This is the oldest continually inhabited town, really, in anywhere in Britain. It's been continually occupied for 10,000 years up until now. But this new excavation they're working on, which I can't give the location away, but I can mention it because David Jacks is the professor. He's the guy. He's going to be speaking at a conference. He's been excavating this last week. I've been to 2 of his lectures in the local village hall, the Village History Centre. It's blown my mind because they found this other area. They scanned this whole area, and just chose one spot where they thought they'd get something. They found more of these wooden post holes, which are 10,000 years old, but they found artifacts which are 12,000 BC, evidence of bones being kind of hacked.
12,000 BC.
BC, so 14,000 years old potentially. So they're double checking all this because it's just their first initial kind of data, and they found other Mesolithic stuff at this other site, which is an area where the river kind of went around it on this raised area. But they've also found some other more modern stuff there, which is still a couple of thousand years old, which is going to be big. So I can't really say anything more. So, I'll send you guys the link to the Origins conference. You can get it live, fresh. He's going to be last on. So the timing will work for you guys probably, He's going to be on about, 6 p.m. UK time, I guess.
That's perfect.
So check it out. I mean, and he's going to give all the latest information about it because there's a reason why you can't, I wasn't really allowed to take photos there or film anything. I wanted to, but I couldn't. So it's quite, it's quite touchy, but there's some really interesting stuff. Even the couple of 1,000-year-old stuff's really interesting. The fact we've got evidence now of Stonehenge area being occupied going back several thousand years more than originally realized is a whole other story. That's massive. You know, it's absolutely massive because there was supposed to be no one around here at that time. And yeah, and the connections keep occurring, and the fact that they were definitely observing both the summer and winter solstice 10,000 years ago, and I've got it all worked out. I've written about this in a published article. People can check that out if they just Google my name. They'll find it on academia.org and Scribd. I've got it on there as well, and it's really, really intriguing. There's a lot more going on here than people realize, and this entire landscape was utilized. You know, not just Stonehenge, not just the mounds, not just Durrington walls. The whole landscape around here is just like a massive complex, but from this earlier era, which, you know, very little is still known about.
It's brilliant.
14,000 years.
Stuff keeps getting older.
Whew.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
It
Awesome.
does.
It's amazing.
And it was December 1st is the origins.
No, November the 1st. November
Okay,
the 1st.
I'm sorry, November 1st. Okay.
Yeah,
November.
people can check it out. I mean,
I want to
they
check
can-
that out. Yeah.
They can jump on the live
Exciting.
stream. I mean, if they want to wait like 6 months or a year, they can watch it for free on YouTube. But I haven't even put last year's out yet, to be honest with you. But there's
You've been busy.
it's all going to be out of date. But no, but we're really, you know, myself and Andrew founded this conference back in 2013. So we do the big Megalithomania one in May, every May. But we really wanted to like go deep into not just megaliths, ancient, you know, super ancient stuff, you know, and and we've got some really cool speakers. We've got the Italian guys coming over, obviously. You know, the SAR team.
Scanning.
The scanning dudes. But we should big up as well the Quest for Ancient Civilizations.
Oh, yeah.
In December 5th to the 7th. I want to
No, that was me.
Because even you're doing a talk there, right, Gary?
Well, I am going to be running the live stream in the green room.
Okay, that sounds cool.
The last time I checked, right, Michael? So that's, and I'll be talking to you and everybody who's there, and there'll also be speakers like you and David Hatcher Childress and Jimmy Corset. David Hatcher Childress is a fucking legend. I cannot wait to meet him.
Yeah. Oh no, I've known David for years. He's an old friend of mine from years ago. He stayed at my mum's house, David.
Oh, really?
That's how close we are. Yeah. I've stayed at his house as well. I've a house sat for him for like a month when he went off to Nepal once. You know, he's based in Arizona, so he's like super local.
Yeah, and he's one of many guys I heard on Art Bell and bought his book, Technology of the Gods, like day of, and I reread it like, I don't know, 20 times. I love it. It's just a great list of just weird shit over, you know, thousands of years, and I highly recommend Technology. You can get it on Audible too. So yeah, we got William Henry, Michael Button, Dan Richards, JJ Ainsworth, Owana. I can't say her last name, Michael. Will Brown, and of course, Michael Collins. And that's going to be in lovely Scottsdale, Arizona, in a lovely time of year to go there, December 5th through 7th, 2025. You can either go or watch it live. I'd say go. We'll all be there hanging out. These people can party too. I don't, but they like the Italians, man, they were partying at Cosmic Summit.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah. I think we'll have a good time for sure. I mean, honestly, David has got some of the best stories you could ever hear. I tell you that, and I think it's well worth going to. I mean, it's not like, you know, I like these conferences. It's why we organize them, obviously, but you know, people have got to get together. They've got to get together and hang out and kind of brainstorm. And like, I meet people. Honestly, the inspiration I get from meeting people and going back and forth with people, you know, it leads on a whole train of research and things like this. They might just have an idea that you know, and I find the kind of in-person thing of actually physically shaking someone's hand and hugging them and whatever is like a big deal. It's like in this modern society, we're losing all that. We're just always like, you know, a kind of office or in a home, you know, working away. But I feel it's really important, and they're really good, cool bunch of people as well. And I've met a bunch of these already, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's I mean, every one of these people is approachable and very kind, and it's a really fun place to just, and they'll talk your ear off. Robert Schock, I got to talk to Robert Schock one time, and that was amazing. So and hang out with Hugh at Cosmic Summit. We were just chilling in our booths. That was fun. So yeah, these are I've been going to these things forever before YouTube. Be going to conferences like this, and I love them. I love them. Just, and yeah, it's like school, but one you're interested in, you know. And Dan Richards is there too. I guess we should mention him.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because Michael came over to England. Actually, he was over here. We went to Stonehenge for the equinox, and which they open it up. So, and I took him to Avebury as well, and it blew my mind that he hadn't heard of Avebury, the largest stone circle in the world. So, you know, we gave him a good megalithic education about that. You know, we had a really interesting, I mean, it's mind-blowing. I mean, in fact, we go to Avebury for part of the Origins conference as well. We do that on the Sunday because it's nearby. And that's pretty epic. But yeah, I mean, I think the Scottsdale thing is a really good gathering. I think I'm just in, you know, there's a real meeting of minds coming together. Everyone's kind of like, oh, here we go. Oh, sorry, Michael. Yeah, I forgot. Well, you might be listening. Yeah.
I just rubbing it in.
But no, we had a really cool time at Avebury though. That was epic. You know, just to sort of Michael brought the good weather with him as well. So we had a good sunny couple of days.
Yeah, it looked fun.
Yeah, maybe next time we go to the UK, Garrett, it won't be like 105
sweltering
degrees. Yeah.
It was so hot,
dude. Stupid hot. Heck.
Yeah, we brought the Texas weather with us over there.
Literally, the day we showed up.
Let's run a half a mile.
Never again. Literally, the day we showed up, the heat wave hit, and then when we left, the heat wave ended.
I don't know what that is.
Where was this? In England?
This was 2023. We went what we call the Indian summer here, so it was September, October.
Okay. Oh, I must have been away. I missed that. Damn it.
Let's not do that.
5 degrees is what Celsius? I have to look it up. 40 degrees Celsius. It was 40 Celsius one day there. Like, it was insane.
My hotel room was nice. I mean, right, Garrett?
Yeah, our first hotel room
was
had
very cozy.
It was very nice.
And yes, it was
nobody else had AC though.
Yeah, F you. I was trying to record a video. I was across from you.
This is pretty
I'm
nice
trying to
here.
record a video in a hotel room, and I've got all the windows open. They're doing construction. Freaking trash trucks are coming in. I just went, fuck it.
We don't. There's a lot of places you don't get air conditioning in England.
No,
or ceiling fans.
No, I mean the fans generally don't need. I mean, if I have to turn my fan on, I know it's hot. You know what I mean? So you know, this is like
it's bad.
Yeah. You know, it's pretty. It gets pretty.
We have ceiling fans on most of the year here.
Oh
yeah, I bet. Yeah, but this is a different thing. We're near the North Pole here, pretty much. You know,
if it wasn't for that Gulf Stream,
I know
you would be the North Pole.
That's it.
Hopefully that doesn't change anytime soon.
Well, that's a conversation.
Well, it is.
Yeah, they're talking about
it is.
Some poles shifting.
There's a possibility.
Quick news. For one, Ancient Aliens is back, and they had a Great Giants episode 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
Watch that episode. It's fucking awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I was in. Yeah. That was nice to. It's actually 10 years since we. Almost to the day that we published our Giants on Record book, me and Jim Vieira. Yep. So, it's kind of come out kind of on our anniversary as such of that book. So, that was a cool one actually. I saw some clips of that. I mean, we can't actually watch the whole episodes here. It's a bit annoying, but we can watch. We get the clips on YouTube.
That's crazy. I'll send you it. I'll send you the episode. Yeah, it's a good one. Like Giants is my favorite subject. And they've hit it before, but like, God, it was years ago. So it had been a while since they're at the point where they could just repeat stuff. And I don't think anybody would know it and it'd feel new at this point. Because it's been around so long.
You would know.
They found some giant shoes up near Hadrian's Wall in England recently. Like,
someone talked about those.
7 or 8 feet. I mean, stuff just keeps popping out like this. You know, there's lots of little kind of discoveries. if you're keeping a track on it, there's actually like it keeps happening. There's also like more of these Denisovans appear to be large the more they find. There's lots of large kind of bones and skull fragments and things like that. So yeah, I don't think that story is going to stop. I think there's going to be, and I mean, imagine if they find like a 10-foot giant in Gobeckli Tepe. That's going to annoy a few people.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool. Our neighbor has a 12-foot skeleton for Halloween here, and I was tripping on. I was on my walk, and I'm like, "That's how big the giants were. Holy shit, they were kind of big." That way, like it comes above the roof. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. We're gonna get to the people now, real quick. What was it? Age of Disclosure, that movie we've been waiting for, folks, is going to be out in November. It's going to be out in November. I put it on our Twitter, so we'll see if it's any good or not. Hopefully it doesn't have James Clapper on it.
Yeah.
If we're going to Soups, I am gonna get out of here. I am having surgery in 6.5 hours.
Brain surgery?
No, I don't really want to get into it publicly.
So it's surgery.
It's a little scary, but it should be fine. So
this is the first time hearing about it. Oh, good luck.
Yeah, I'm just something I'm dealing with. So I'm gonna go get some sleep. And I didn't want to miss you. I really enjoy his company, and he's a legend. So,
Hugh is a legend.
Cheers, everybody.
Prayers.
It's a C-section, yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, yeah. That's it. So, anyway, thank you very much.
Take care, brother.
I'll see you guys.
Bye. All right, let's get to the people. So we got Mark Shaw is a new member. Welcome, Mark. Welcome to the insanity. You are a traveler now, officially. Dark Schwartz Rising says Sunday night sucks because Monday follows, but Forbidden Frontier is the cure. Hopefully we can make it a little better.
Yeah.
But turn that frown upside down. You get to go to work. I know, like, I remember those days.
I guess it depends on the job.
Do you have a case of the Mondays, Dark Schwartz? And hail to you. Thank you for the 1999. It'll be okay because it'll be Friday again someday. The Dead Man for $4.99. Today is the 1 week anniversary of Gary being on time. It was fun while it lasted. Don't get used to it. That's what I say. Andrew Matthews for £2 proper money. Has the construction damaged the Turkey site, in your opinion?
I don't know. I think the problem is for me is that they've covered up some of the T-shaped pillars with the new wall. They're kind of they're building. So you're not seeing some of the carvings on them. So hopefully that won't damage them. But also they're just building the wall, really rebuilding it. And so there could be a lot of stuff underneath it that still hasn't been excavated. So hopefully there's no damage, but you need to get in there and have a proper inspection to see if that's the case.
Mm-hmm. The Dead Man for $4.99. Gary, did you see the Y-Files about CIA aliens and time travelers video the other day? I listened to it last night. We love AJ and the Y-Files. He will be at Scottsdale with us, hanging out. Good dude, AJ. I just saw a video of him. Somebody had figured out what AJ was doing before he did the Y-Files, which I knew already. So he was selling weed.
Yeah.
He was doing like a weed delivery service or something like that.
Well,
like it actually checks out, selling weed to going into paranormal stuff.
Perfect
It's
transition
like
there. Same
lateral
clientele.
Actually, he could just sponsor himself.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was funny. Somebody's like, I can't believe that AJ, and it shows him like on Joe Rogan earlier.
Yeah.
And on an ad, and he's like, he just got cooler in my eyes. Was the environment forest at the time? What was the environment forest at the time of the Tepe? So what was the environment like 10,000, 12,000 years ago?
It was wetter, slightly wetter, apparently. It was still a stony landscape. It's still part of the kind of mountain, any Taurus mountain range, and the Tek Mountains for Karahan Tepe. So there wasn't much vegetation, but there was more, apparently. Forests wouldn't have been super close. There may have been more trees down Shanlurf way. There's no one, I don't think anyone's really done any proper stuff on this, really, because Lee Clare was claiming there were forests nearby. He's the archaeologist. whilst other geologists and other such things who've looked at the data said there weren't. So yeah, it's hard to know, but you know, this is where the debate comes in about did they have roofs because they need wood to build them and things like that. So, but there would have been more for sure. I mean, but it would have been less dry. But I don't think there would have been giant cedar forests or anything like that, like you get down in Levant.
Which makes it even more impressive that the stuff lasted this long because it was raining more back then and it was more moist. Eli McGinnis became a member. I can read. Thank you, Eli. Thanks for joining up. You're a traveler. My Tigger for $20. Off topic, but did you see the Joe Rogan episode 2394 with the billionaire Palmer Luckey, who talks about nostalgia and current media video game industry? Timestamp 219-240. If not, listen to it. A great real BBC topic. We will.
The whole show is great topics about stuff from like Forbidden Frontier stuff, real BBC things. Like they kind of run the gamut, and it's all really fascinating.
Yeah, that's Garrett's seen it. Everybody was telling me to watch it, and I will. I watch every Joe Rogan, like every single one.
It's really good.
It's just a matter of when I get around.
They talk about like where are UFOs aliens or are they interdimensional beings, and he gives his like take on it. And it's pretty cool.
I go so back and forth on that one. Definitely real.
I think interdimensional beings. I'm feeling it's more.
What do you
like
think,
that.
Hugh?
About what?
UFOs. He's all about what?
UFOs. Yeah, I've seen a few UFOs. I've actually filmed one or two actually as well. I saw some at Winnemucca petroglyphs. Actually, that was kind of freaky. Twice. There's 2 times I went there. I saw.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah, seriously, really weird. Yeah, both times I went there, and I've seen a couple of other ones. Yeah, so I was really into that when I was younger. You know, and obviously I'm on Ancient Aliens. That's the question here mentions that as well. But I'm not a big UFO guy. It's not really my thing. But I'm definitely open to the possibility of something bizarre happening in our past and now.
The Dead Man for $9.99. What I hate about Ancient Aliens, the show, is people like Hugh and Graham don't do real work and get labeled ancient alien kooks when they are not. Mike Barra notwithstanding. I think that, you know, and I'll let Hugh speak for himself, but I don't label them like that. I mean, if the normies do, whatever. But what we could thank Ancient Aliens for is getting people into ancient civilizations. It was definitely a gateway for that. Because at first I was like, oh, it's all aliens. And then I started watching the show more and I'm like, no, it was us. It was a different form of us, but it was us. But no, I don't, have you ever been, I don't think Hugh's been labeled that way though. Have you?
No,
have you ever
a little bit, a little bit, yeah, but I don't care. You know, I'm honored to be on Ancient Aliens. I must admit, I really appreciate it. I think they're doing a wonderful job. The people involved are wonderful. The crew, the whole production company, they're very good to me and everyone I know. Very professional, and I agree with what you say. If it wasn't for shows like this going into the mainstream, like for the last 10, 15 years nearly now, that people wouldn't know about the intricacies of these ancient sites and the technologies, that like the geometry, the mystical side of it, which I think is really important. And even just introducing sites to people in the mainstream that are lesser known, and giving the voice to alternative historians and researchers who've got genuinely good ideas. It gives them a voice for that as well. Obviously, you get more outrageous stuff on there as well. There's some episodes that have nothing to do with ancient civilizations, which I don't speak on, obviously. So I think there's a lot to say about it, and I think if you actually watch it and absorb a lot of good information, you know, it's quite deep. It goes quite deep, surprisingly sometimes.
It really does. And it has for a long time. It's a lot like Dead Man. Thank you very much. And hey, props to you for acknowledging the work that Hugh and Graham do, which is a lot of work. So thank you for the $9.99. I think the show's great because, for one, it has shown sites that would have never been shown on any kind of, and I'll put in air quotes, mainstream network anywhere. Nobody would have heard of Pumapunku You know, like
That's
we
where
could
I
have
heard
mentioned
from it,
it,
yeah.
but we heard it because I know that's one of Giorgio's favorites. That's one of his like his sites, and I found some of the footage. So you've heard the story before. Sorry, Hugh, but I'll repeat it for the chat. I worked with Giorgio. I lit his interview. I did the lighting on his interview prior to Ancient Aliens, so it was the test for Ancient Aliens. And it was through the film school I was at with my friend Cat McLeod, and he's the one who shot it and put it together. And when I ran into Giorgio at Ancient Aliens Live, when we got to talk for 2 seconds, he asked me, he's like, "Do you still have that footage?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, yeah." And I wasn't entirely sure at the time,
You're like,
but I did find it. I did actually find
you
it.
did.
Yeah, I've got
Oh.
some of the raw interview stuff and everything. So that
Wow.
I'll try to send it to him. But yeah, Giorgio back in the day when he was sleeping on a mattress that was on the floor of my friend Cat McLeod's house, renting a room, and it had just a bunch of book. He lived in a sparse room, and I didn't know who the guy was. And so when I first met him, we just started hitting up about UFOs. I'm like, God, you know a lot about UFOs. He's all, yeah, I'm friends with Eric von Daniken. I would like almost shit my pants. I was like, what? And yeah. So it's been awesome to see him blow up with the show. It's really cool to see.
Giorgio's awesome. I love Giorgio. Yeah, he's come over to England. We've hung out with him, taking him around stone circles and things like that, just as a little kind of holiday after a conference he was at. So, yeah, I didn't know that story, by the way. You didn't tell me that one before.
Yeah,
That's
he had
really
humble-ish beginnings, very humble beginnings, and this was in the Bay Area, right? So we went to a speakeasy, well, it was an actual speakeasy back in the day, Hugh, but they made it look the same, and that's where we shot the interview in downtown San Francisco in 2008. I can't even remember, 7, 8, 9, something like that. But I've slept since then. I'll show off the footage someday. I'll show it off, but I'm gonna send it to him. Wandering Wolf for $5 says, "I'll take Hugh and y'all out to the Cartruts if Hugh brings some beans for everyone."
Yeah,
I want beans.
Beans and toast.
See, Michael absolutely loves baked beans. He was stuffing his face with them out of a can, cold, when he was here. He enjoys them that much. Yeah. And so I will bring some for him and force feed them to him at the conference. So there you go. Have some of that.
Hell yeah. Just don't stay in the same room as Michael and you're fine.
Yeah.
Simon Ho, what's up, brother? For 5 Canadian pesos. Spoiler alert. Star Trek Academy's season finale will be the arrest of Commander Laura Thok on charges of mortgage fraud. If you don't need to know. I don't want to even get you in trouble.
You don't want to.
That was funny though. Sophie, what's up, my lady? Sophie for $5. She was with us in Peru. Was going to ask for a video, but still haven't seen the Peru one. So happy ABF did not propose in Cairo. It would have been more sad. I would have been more sad. Hail Familia. Alec Baldwin's finger getting married, locking it down. Yep. Yeah.
Congrats.
I have all the footage from Peru. We just need to find somebody to
collate it.
We'll still do that. Maybe Garrett's brother.
Yeah.
Or somebody. Wandering Wolf for $5. We're only doing the sleeper train in Egypt because Gary hates flying. So if people, you're not doing that for me, are you?
You're blaming Gary?
No,
that's the only reason, guys.
Oh no. I hope you're not doing that for me. I mean, I could have just taken the train and you guys could have flown. It's fine. But you know what? You can blame me. Jeff up north has gifted 5 Nerdrotic Live memberships. Please check out Jeff's channel. He is a bit of a wanderer. He goes around America and checks out what is it, bronze mines and all that good shit that's up there near Michigan and everywhere else. Lots of weird stuff. We're so lame here, Hugh. When I was growing up, I never heard of a mound. Never heard of it until I was it was after high school. So they never taught They never told us they existed in high school. Nothing like that. Not Serpent Mound, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I was never taught any of that, and I only found it out later, like how much, how many mounds we've destroyed, and how much actual culture we had here before, even the Clovis thing. Never heard of that until freaking Graham Hancock.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
Yeah, no, it's the same. I mean, we get very. It was like when I was at school a long time ago. It was like there was the Romans, and before that there was Stonehenge, and then that was it. There was just savages before.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, okay, all right, that's it. Thanks.
I'd have paid way more attention if they would have told us this stuff. It would have been way more interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Romans are interesting, but
imagine being taught like the kind of esoteric kind of myths of areas, all these stories associated with it. The kind of founding myths of countries and cultures. I mean, that blow you away as a kid. You get really into it. Like the Thor movies or something.
Conan, like the epic.
Teach more mythology. That's something they taught. I don't know if they still do, but they teach it over in the UK. They don't teach us mythology.
No, we didn't get that really. I mean, maybe in Wales you get it, but
maybe in the posh schools.
Yeah, not in our schools.
Not in my school for sure. Gary is scared of flying, but not barreling down the highway half blind at 100 miles an hour. Says Kill Gannon 84 for $5. True. Especially at night.
You're in control of it. But
I'm in control.
That's the difference.
The only thing you got to worry about in Texas, because you can drive pretty fucking fast out here, is deer and pigs and running across the road. For Adam and his penis reduction surgery. Eric, how did you know?
Reduction. It's an extension.
Gary has a serious show and I make jokes. My bad. I'm not a very serious person. You're welcome, Gary and friends, and thank you, the Dead Man, for $4.99. We appreciate you. Jackson Cagle for $5. Ancient Aliens saved my sanity. It saved mine a lot too. I just watched 2 episodes today.
Comfort food, man.
It's great. I miss it when it's gone. And I hope it never goes away. Ever goes away. I adore that show, and I like all the other ones too. I wish your Giant show took off. That Giant show that they did the season 1 with the Vieira brothers. I wish that show had taken off. I loved it.
That would have been cool. I think we just got too much into like criticizing the Smithsonian and institutions. It didn't necessarily help, consistently.
Government didn't like that.
Yeah. But you can't help it. I mean, but the new episode of Ancient Aliens, we do that anyway. So
yeah, you do. You do.
We covered it.
And our boy Jim Vieira's in it.
Yeah.
I love Jim Vieira. He's like so just a real dude. He's funny. Mantifarer for €5 says, even World War II Foo Fighters could be Tic Tacs. This is true. The Germans had jets and rocket-powered aircraft, but no one could explain these sightings. Yes, and there's actual pictures of them out there. So, and they were everywhere. And I feel that times, here we go. Mod Eric for $1 is going to make me say a song here. And I feel like times of wasted go. So where y'all go until tomorrow? And I see that these are lies to come. So who would even care? And I feel it. Where are you going for tomorrow? There you go. I feel like William Shatner.
You actually said those in words instead of like the actual song. Just mumbles.
Oh, yeah. Where you going with the man? Oh my God, I meant to play it on Friday Night Tights. There's a guy who does the best impression of God, I'm blanking on his name now. I just
Eddie
saw
Vedder?
Not Eddie. Why? God, I hate. We're gonna move on until I remember it. We're gonna move on.
Stone Temple Pilots?
No. Bob Dylan. God damn it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that video. Yeah, you posted.
Dude, it was in a home. And he just he has like 9 harmonicas and he just blows it. He goes, and it sounded perfect. It sounded like Bob Dylan. Bigfoot on the Streamlabs side for $10. Hey, thanks. I was just looking at videos of you that looked almost convincing, and they're older So they're not AI. Still could be a dude in a suit. But there was one that they posted yesterday. I want to believe in Bigfoot, Hugh. I just don't.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah, and there's
Oh,
like I go
I
back
do.
and forth, and I'm from California where they're everywhere. But
Right.
I saw
You've never seen a Bigfoot, right? Right. There's a Bigfoot thing in Britain. No kidding.
Really?
There's no kidding at all. That Nick Redfern has written an amazing book about the whole Bigfoot phenomenon. There's a few other people as well. There's and one of the names of the traditional names of one of these hairy beasts is called the shug monkey, which I thought was quite a cool name. So and there's all these different names and traditions that go way back. We mentioned them in a couple of them in our book on the giants of Stonehenge
you
in
do.
Britain. Yeah, because they're giant, they're giant people,
Yeah.
but hairy. And so, it kind of gets mixed up with the giant lore, and it does in America as well. Actually, there's potentially some of the bones that found maybe Bigfoot bones and things like that. So obviously there's very little evidence, like there is same with the giants, but there's a massive tradition. I didn't even know this till I read Nick Redfern's book. Got to check it out, man. It's like, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but yeah, if you type
I'll
in
read
like
it.
British Bigfoot Nick Redfern, yeah, and you'll find it. Yeah, it's like it's quite brilliant, and I didn't realize how much, and it's always associated with mystical things like otherworldly events, like fairy realm type stuff, Loch Ness kind of thing, monster type thing. And I think you get that a lot in those kind of traditions in America as well, where there's a sort of otherworldly, supernatural element to it.
Oh, I saw the most convincing video for me wasn't one where you see one. It was a camper that was broken down. This is back in 2015. A camper broken down in the redwoods of California. And the dog starts freaking out, and they're recording the whole time.
Dude,
and you hear these
Yeah.
howls that are not animals. That like I've been camping in Northern California. I've heard bears. I've heard them all. This was nothing like that. It was freaky. But this one, Tara Bull shared this. I think it's at the 4-second mark. You're gonna see this is Arctic elk or something, and you see them here. I'll show it to you first.
Oh.
So you're just like, look at the elk. Look at the elk. And then you go right there.
The hell is
my
that?
cursor?
The heck?
That's it.
It just like pops up and goes down.
Pops up and goes down. It's like, what the hell?
What the hell?
Yeah. There's a button, and because I looked at this one,
weird too.
because the way Twitter acts, because I looked at that, I am now getting nothing but Bigfoot,
Of course.
and puppy videos. Like that's all I'm getting on Twitter right now. I'm on disability with time to waste. Says JB24 for 5 Canadian
All right.
pesos. I'd love to volunteer to help edit your Peru video. Okay.
Are you an editor?
Are you an editor? And they go, I can learn, and that might be
I will
good
have
enough.
notes. I will have notes.
Email me at Gary@nerdrotic.com. We have lots of raw footage, and if we can stitch together basically a narrative, I can do a voiceover of it.
Yeah.
What are we showing here, X-Ray Girl? Oh, Sasquatch.
Sasquatch.
American Sasquatch.
It's for the next super chat. He mentions that this is going to be a new one.
Oh, this is Dave Polides. Yeah.
Bigfoot Streamlabs. We got a little sidetracked.
We did get a little sidetracked. There he is. There's Dave Polides. So yeah, he's doing a Bigfoot, and he was, before he did Missing 411, he did Bigfoot research. I want to believe. So that one's coming out soon. Sunday night suck. Oh, I already read that one. Where am I? Gosh darn it. PGMD 81 is gifted one Nerd Rumble. There you go. Nerd Rumble sub for $5. I'm down with that. Zorbu, thank you very much, by the way. Zorbu for $10 says, awkward request, Gary. You see, we recently misplaced our UFO key fob and just noticed our ship's doors locked randomly going on and off. Long story short, please ask Quarter Earthling to stop shifting around in his seat. We'll be by later to extract the keys. Thanks. It's because he gets probed.
You're gonna pry these keys out of my dead asshole, okay? Sorry,
So-
Hugh. Sorry.
Sorry, Hugh.
Me
That's
and,
lore. So Zorbu,
me and Zorbu got a thing going on.
longtime viewer, and probes Garrett in the middle of the night. Jose Taco for $1. Nice seeing you Friday. It was nice seeing you. Sorry I missed Garrett. See you at SpaceCon. See you at SpaceCon next Saturday. Garrett will be there.
I'll see you.
Dragon Sworn for $5. The shuttle launcher needed to be 3 pieces because they had to travel through train tunnels on train cars. The width of train cars was chosen by the original builders to match a wagon's wheels base. And he says the wheelbase of wagons were chosen to fit the existing ruts in ancient Roman roads. Roman roads were sized to fit 12 chariots across. Really? I did not know that. Roman chariots were just a little bit wider than the 2 horses pulling it. 2,000 years later, we are still being impacted by an old horse's ass. I knew you were going somewhere with that. Hey, yeah, that's the way life goes. Thanks for reading my chat, but it's more proof that you can't go home. The dead man for $4.99. You can't go home. Can't go home again.
True.
All right, is that it? That's it. We are going to wrap up the show. I'd like to thank Hugh Newman for joining this madness one more time. You're a good man. Please tell the fine folks where they can find you and what you got coming up.
Yeah, sure. We've got the Origins conference coming up on the 1st of November. That's you can check the live stream, it's just originsconference.co.uk. Yeah, we're actually heading out to Peru and Easter Island for a big tour with me and Andrew and JJ and lots of others. That's going to be
awesome.
epic. I haven't been there for like 7 or 8 years, so I'm quite keen to get back. And we're going to try and get access to the tunnels, so we're working on that. And so that's all happening. Obviously the big conference in Arizona, Scottsdale, 5th to the 7th of December. I'll see you there, see everyone else there, I hope as well. I want to get promoting that, everyone should hear about that and come along. It's going to be awesome. And then we've got a whole bunch of stuff. We're trying to go back to Karahan Tepe for the solstice if we get permission. It's got to that point now, you can't just really turn up there and hope for the best, and then next year we've got a whole bunch of trips. We've got the big Megalithomania 20-year anniversary in May, the big conference. We've got David Childress coming over for that, so I'm delighted to announce that he's going to come over and hang out a bit and do that. And then we're heading back to Turkey on a tour in May. We're busy, but we try and make time to also get our book done. Me and JJ are working hard on that, so that's going to take a while because it's quite in depth, and they keep finding new stuff in Turkey, so it's annoying. You got to keep updating it before it's even out. It's like, what the hell? So that's all happening. And just people can connect with me, Megalithomania, and there's a lot coming up.
You're going to have to do this massive epilogue or just a chapter calling shit they discovered since we've written the book.
Well, Andrew had to do that in his book, right? He wrote his entire book on Karahan Tepe. Let's have an entire chapter on the new discoveries at Karahan Tepe, just to kind of cover it, So
it's great.
So everything gets out of date pretty quickly, unfortunately. But that's
why
good.
It's good. This is why
Yeah,
the best field. It's the best field, the most interesting thing going on, and dude. Ufology wishes it got this much new information all the time. So thanks again, Hugh. Garrett, what do you got coming up?
Same old. We got Base Staff Monday tomorrow on Adam's channel, and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Normal World, where we talk about your mom's minge.
There you go. Your mom. Right. We got a video about George R. Martin today. Going to be working on a Tolkien video coming out soon. Nerdrotic Nooner on right here on Nerdrotic Live and Rumble tomorrow in the morning. And thank you to the Modrotics. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and donation. You help keep the lights on. Thanks, X-Ray Girl. And we'll see you all next time.
See you later.
Welcome to the Forbidden Frontier.